What's up, Taiwan? I'm Rik Glauert with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan continues to feel the after effects of the largest typhoon to hit the country in nearly a decade. The Coast Guard is still searching for 4 sailors after the storm sank a freighter and grounded 8 other ships. And crews are working to prevent oil from leaking from the damaged vessels. Meanwhile, strong winds left thousands of tourists stranded on the outlying island of Jinmen. Anger mounted at the island's airport, with one passenger throwing a chair at check-in staff. One staff member was injured. The military is now helping rescue stranded people. Typhoon Gaemi has isolated rural mountain communities and flooded coastal towns in southern Taiwan. Days after the storm passed through the region, residents are still coming to grips with the damage. Wesley Lewis has the details.
A mountain road washed away as southern Taiwan reels from destruction left by Typhoon Gaemi. Several communities in the mountains of Chiayi County have been completely cut off from the outside world, and residents have been without power for 4 days.
那经勘测过程右九甲线螺船寸断光华隧道有中断，那中断内容呢也有发现部分坍方了。
Police and first responders have been working to reopen blocked roads, and in the meantime, they've been delivering essential aid to stranded residents via temporary dirt roads. Meanwhile, coastal communities in Chiayi are dealing with persistent flooding, like at this elementary school. Days of torrential rain have also harmed the area's oyster farms. And local fisheries are reporting major losses.
在海面上养殖的浮筏式蚵棚大概有8000棚，那平挂式牡蛎大概也有300公顷，那都受到全毁或半毁，还是说科条科串牡蛎掉落的这样子一个损害情形。那目前估计损失达到1亿6200万。
Apart from financial losses, the flooding has also caused deadly accidents. One man here died after falling into a ditch while pushing a stranded car. While the flooding subsides here in Chiayi, it's beginning to reveal the deeper extent of the damage. Devin Tai and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's Premier Zhou Rongtai has vowed full support for the repair of a key highway in a visit to typhoon-hit areas on the country's east coast.
这条东部安全回家的路，我们欠花莲的乡亲很多次，所以我们这一次尽快补起来。欠花莲乡亲了那么多次，我们未来我们整条线。 再来做一个新的想法。
The Suhua Highway was cut off by a landslide triggered by last week's typhoon, severing transportation links between eastern Taiwan and the rest of the country. The area has become more prone to landslides since a massive earthquake hit Hualien in April. The Transportation Ministry says they expect the highway to be restored within the next few days. Forecasters are now also warning that Taiwan could be in for more extreme weather. An area of low pressure is currently forming east of the Philippines.
目前的话，台湾附近这边的风险是比较大一点，所以它在逐渐靠近台湾的过程当中是有机会再稍微增强一点，是不排除有机会来到热带型低气压。那要再进一步增强的空间，目前来看是比较有限。
It comes as Taiwan begins to count the cost of Typhoon Gaemi. The government says agricultural losses alone amount to more than $50 million. US-based AI chip giant AMD is set to open a research and development center here in Taiwan. The company says it expects to train more than 1,000 people in AI capabilities at the center each year. It has promised to invest around $160 million in the project. The Taiwan Center aims to build research teams focusing on silicon photonics, AI, and the integration of various technology. It's part of a government program to develop advanced technologies. A community in northern Taiwan is gathering around a century-old tree. John Van Triest has this story.
In this corner of rural Miaoli County's Sanyi Township, people don't need to gather in community centers. A tree that stood here for 100 years serves that purpose. Lai Shiteng is part of a local society that puts together events at the tree's base.
能够给长辈回忆他们年轻时候辛苦奋斗的那个过程以外，也能让我们的小朋友来这边能够做一些其他的实用教育的体验活动，或者是一些书籍阅读的那个场所。
It's not just the tree the community cares for. The surrounding lotus ponds, too, are rich with endangered wildlife that's protected here.
左手边的这个香水莲呢，是我们在做史尼氏小巴的一个复育的工作。外国人在我们苗栗山艺发现的物种，所以说它命名叫史尼氏小巴。那我们因为人为的过度开发，史尼氏小巴物种已经濒临灭绝啊。
There are events for children, musical gatherings, and painting workshops too. The oil paintings feature some very familiar elements as motifs. They're hung up with pride not far away.
史尼氏小巴复育的油画像，很多人都不相信呢。你这怎么有可能第一次画可以画出这些作品出来？事实上就是第一次画。
In Sanyi, when it's time to gather, everyone knows the place to go. Devin Tsai and John Via Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
In international news, 12 people are dead after a rocket hit a football pitch in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Israel is blaming Hezbollah and has responded with its own strikes into Lebanon. As I report, the renewed violence has put an already sensitive region further on edge. Air raid sirens blare as rockets soar over the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. It's a warning that came too late for at least 12 children and young adults, killed by a rocket strike on a football pitch.
طبعا مع كثافة الناس والأعداد كانت الإصابة كثير بشعة والإروع كان وصف لا يوصف من الحدث اللي صار.
Islamist militant group Hezbollah, based in neighbouring Lebanon, says it was not behind the attack, but Israel is blaming the group and has vowed to respond.
This tragic national tragedy was caused because of Hezbollah, the terror organization that fired a rocket here to this field. Our forensic team has made it clear. This rocket was a rocket called Falak 1. It is manufactured in Iran. It is delivered to Hezbollah. Hezbollah is the only terror organization in Lebanon that holds Falak 1.
Just hours after the attack, Israel's army said it launched its own strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he'll return early from his trip to the US to handle the situation.
מאז שהותקנתי באסון אני מקיים התייעצויות ביטחוניות רצופות. הנחיתי להקדים את שובנו לארץ. אני אכנס מיד את הקבינט הביטחוני עם הגעתי. אני יכול להגיד שמדינת ישראל לא תעבור על כך בשתיקה.
The bloodshed sharply escalates hostility between the two heavily armed foes that have been increasingly clashing alongside the war in Gaza. And it's been raising fears of a full-blown conflict between US-backed Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah, widening an already bloody conflict in the Middle East. The United Nations is calling for maximum restraint. The strike is the deadliest incident in Israeli-occupied territory since the Palestinian militant group Hamas launched an attack across the border from Gaza in October. Israel's retaliation has left nearly 40,000 Palestinians dead, according to the Palestinian Health Authority. Just hours before the rockets fell on the Golan Heights, an Israeli airstrike killed 30 people sheltering in a school in Gaza.
نجري بالشوارع بهدوءنا مش عارفين وين نروح وين نقعد فيش مكان آمن بيقولوا لنا روحوا شرق روحوا غرب روحوا هان ومش عارفين وين ما نروح لا خيم آمنة ولا مدارس آمنة ولا دور آمنة وين بدنا نروح.
Hezbollah has links with Hamas and sees itself as an ally in a fight to regain what they see as a stolen Palestinian homeland. Israel maintains it will defend itself against neighbouring Arab groups which want to see its destruction. This area of the Golan Heights, home to the Druze Arab minority, has been occupied by Israel for nearly 60 years. It's now the latest, but almost certainly not the last, community in the increasingly volatile region to be shattered by violence. Wang and Rik Glauert for TaiwanPlus. On the first day of competition in the Paris Olympics, Taiwan's top judoka Yang Yongwei missed out on bronze in the men's under 60 kilogram event. The Tokyo Olympics silver medalist was defeated by Japan's Ryojo Nagayama on Saturday. Meanwhile, gymnast Tang Chia-hung scored 14.9 points in the men's horizontal bar, qualifying heat and advanced to the finals. He is set to compete again on August 5th. The Cultural Olympiad has kicked off in Paris, with performers from around the world taking to the stage alongside the Olympic Games this summer. One of Taiwan's most celebrated Indigenous singers has already made her mark there. Rik Glauert sit down for an exclusive interview and performance with Abao and her team of performers before they left.
Bringing a harmony of native voices to the global stage. Award-winning artist Abao and her group of indigenous singers, Nawa, are on their way to Paris to represent Taiwan at this year's Cultural Olympiad.
在我自己现在的厂牌里面，会包容不同的原住民族的音乐创作人。只要你是原住民，你有在做音乐，然后我们就有可能机会可以合作。不管你是几岁的，从哪里来的。
A member of the Paiwan people, one of Taiwan's 16 officially recognized indigenous groups, Abao is a household name in Taiwan and has been singing for over 2 decades. Recording at first in Mandarin, later in her career, Abao felt a calling to perform in the language of her ancestors.
那个时候我都还没有开始用母语创作，那是从这一张作品，我开始比较认真的去跟老人家学他们的，去形容这个东西的，还有那个语文的感觉。后来就觉得排湾语很美，然后很好听，但是它有没有可能可以 mix 一些现在的 pop 的元素在里面？
Abao takes inspiration from the female role models in her family, particularly her grandmother, who helped her learn and write in their native Paiwan. She was dedicated to creating a legacy for her grandmother, who has since passed away.
因为我的外婆她想要录传统的歌谣，她知道我以前是做音乐的，我就拜托我的朋友，我们一起来帮我外婆录一张她想要留的歌。
It's difficult to put Abao's music into one box. Her style has been described as rock, pop, electronic and reggae. For Abao, these labels don't matter so much, as long as people feel her music and understand what it represents.
我会怎么形容我自己的音乐哦？没有人问过这一题耶。我想想，我觉得我希望我的音乐一定是感动又动感的，就是 groovy and touch， 很注重一起 together 这件事情。就是我们比较少英雄主义的，就是一个人是 hero， 我们比较少，我们比较是 together to do one thing。
Since incorporating numerous languages into her music, including Mandarin, English, and several local languages, Abao's songs have been used as a teaching tool for the next generation of indigenous Taiwanese.
我觉得最主要是母语的老师，他们有一个比较活泼的方式，可以告诉小朋友说：“哦，母语可以这样。”
And now, in Paris, she hopes to introduce the beauty of Taiwan's native cultures to the world through the universal language of music.
节奏不需要翻译。
Wow, retail T-shirt.
节奏。I'll make a T-shirt.
Justin Wu and Rik Glauert for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, check out these endangered North African gazelles being taken to an island in Libya for protection. I'm Rik Glauert, take care and we will see you next time.